Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Winter Ostmania Grand Slam Tournament 2025. We're back once again with the start of the Sunday block of matches, and what better way to kick things off than with a entirely separate ends of the world match. We got Blue Potion taking on Estebean, and what'll hopefully be a very exciting matchup here for y'all today. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am joined in commentary booth by none other than a Case 100. Case, how's it going?
I'm doing really well. I'm really excited for this match because Blue Potion having a very high seed and Estebean having a lower seed, but there's one point where Estebean is excelling at other than Blue Potion. The Rice aspect. Looking at this seeding results, Estebean has scored a higher score than Blue Potion and Rice too, so we might be having a Rice and Ellen battle in our hands.
Oh, potentially leads to some pretty exciting stuff. Hopefully, I always like to say whenever we get into these early rounds, you never want to count out the lower seeds. Yeah, there might be quite a bit of a discrepancy between these two players, 19 and 46, but when you really get down to it, you can really start to bring in those like hidden like accuracy players, the ones that really like strive when the star rating is like below 3. And if you're not too careful and you start slipping up, finding a couple of maybe extra 200s here and there, you can really find yourself on the losing end, especially with the fact that these maps are, dare I say, a little bit on the easier side, quote unquote, at least if you asked some of the players. Everybody wants to be playing like those 6-star like beta alpha maps, but we got to work our way up there. We got to prove that you can handle the easy stuff before we can get up into those harder tracks.
Exactly. Going to the rolls, Blue Potion hitting at 30, while Estebean goes to 6.
Yeah, so Blue Potion going to be winning the roll here. Going to get the first protect in this match. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to protect here. We've seen a bit of, like, whenever we describe these, like, aforementioned LN versus Rice kind of matchups, and this is really just assuming we understand what the players are going to want to go for. I imagine something like LN1 or LN3 are usually like the two maps that an LN player would want to protect to make sure they don't get banned, because I'm pretty sure the response from the other players is just ban out the other one. That being said, I mean, everything on the Rice pool, pretty straightforward, nothing really off the wall. If they really wanted to, they could keep like Rice 4, but no, it's going to be LN1, so Raindrop's going to be protected here. Estebean up to protect now, and they are probably going to want to keep one of these Rice charts, unless they have one of the hybrids in the back pocket they want to throw out here. And it is going to be Rice 5, so the longest pick in the Rice pool, at the very least, going to be protected here by Estebean. Pretty straightforward, broken jump stream pick, not a lot of crazy things going on, a couple of bursts here and there can maybe catch you out, but overall just 1/4 patterning, can you handle the BPM type of question being asked, as Estebean up to ban first now, and I imagine LN3 is not long for this world if I were to place a bet here.
Yeah, something coordination heavy, or something that would trip up someone that wouldn't be playing or likes to play LN would probably be banned.
Yeah, if it's not LN3, maybe like Hybrid 1 for how dynamic it can be. The back half also kind of a little bit crazy compared to the first like 75%, but no, it's going to be LN3, so unsurprising there when it comes to the ban from Estebean, and with Blue Potion up to ban now, I imagine just maybe banning out the map they're the least comfortable with in the Rice pool. Maybe something like Neanderwall, Easy God Library also up there if they want to get rid of something a little bit more technical. But I mean, ultimately, anything that's not Rice 5, since I was protected, is pretty much on the chopping block here. All right, and we get the get the playfield jump scares, but it's the anticipation. We want to get into this already, but we're still waiting on Blue Potion to make the ban here, and it's gonna be Rice 3. So yeah, getting rid of the tech pick from the Rice pool, unsurprising as a response to Estebean removing the wild cardy-esque LN, maybe just coordination 2 for some folks. And Blue Potion up to pick first. Gonna be interesting to see what they go for. LN2 available, the Protect available right out of the gate. Both hybrids probably also very much in favor of maybe Blue Potion, maybe something like Hybrid 1, but it's gonna be LN2. Sorry, I got some Namarin up in here. And arguably the most approachable LN chart for players that maybe don't play that much LN. The density aspect of it, a lot of really short 1/4 LNs can kind of get away with playing those like Rice, and you just really got to deal with the longer anchors on either side, but pretty short map overall. Very easy to trip up on if you do happen to find a slider break, and the recovery afterwards not going to be the most graceful, but hopefully for both players' sakes, no misses. Hopefully it's just FC, because that's basically the bar here in these early rounds. And it looks like both players are ready. MP Star Command comes out. We'll get into this first map of this best of 7. First player to 4 points. Gotta get an abort. We got a Hard Rock detected here. Can't be playing these maps with Hard Rock. It's already hard enough as it is. Gonna get the abort here. Force Estebean to turn that off. They had it on for the memes for the warm-up, but now that the match is going on, very much a no-no. and before they're like, man, I'm playing real bad here, and next thing you know, they literally just strapped on like a barbell to their ankle and are trying to swim.
If you don't know the rules, the mods that are only allowed are visual mods and nothing difficulty changing.
Yeah, it's hidden, flashlight, mirror, fade in for those so inclined, and no fail. Since no fail doesn't really affect the scoring in score v2, so Blue Potion allowed to run the no fail. We're not gonna bonk them over the head for it. So now we'll get into the first map proper. No shenanigans, no arbitrary difficulty increases here in our good faithful rank restricted tournament, and we can get this underway. And pretty strong start for Estebean, 99.6. Blue Potion actually picking up a couple of late releases through that early going. Those shorter LNs can really catch you out if you're not starting them on the right foot. So road to recovery for them, gonna give Estebean a bit of a cushion to work with, much against what we were thinking was going to happen going into this first LN pick. 2,000 points to the good right now is Estebean.
Yeah, nothing too coordination heavy. Probably one of the weaknesses of Estebean that he probably has. So this has a very good start for him.
For sure. So halfway through the map, looking really good for them, but Blue Potion not too far behind, managing to close up the accuracy gap to about 0.1%, and closing quickly. If they can manage to shore things up, just ensure that they're not picking up any more 200s here, they have a real chance, especially if Estebean starts picking up some late 200s, maybe even a rush of 300s as things continue here. And Estebean's still in the lobby, so not assuming that they're gone, thankfully. It's just Bancho being Bancho, of course, is trying to keep a VPN connection in lockstep. And boy, did things equalize here towards the end. It is... Oh, Blue Potion found a miss. And Estebean going to be picking up the first break point in this match, having the better ratio, the 100. And I mean, Blue Potion just finding the 50 and the miss. going to be their undoing here on this first map. And hey, like I said, when you get to these easier map pools, don't count out those lower seeds. Estebean with a very early breakpoint to start things off here.
Missing in these early stages is very detrimental, especially when mainly it's all about accuracy.
Yeah, for sure. So Estebean getting a unlikely breakpoint, and I think even they're surprised by it, seeing the results, seeing that they're they're the ones that got the point. So I mean, this might be a bit of a boost of confidence for them. They can approach this like, hey, I'm not completely boned here at the end of the day, and maybe they can play these rice maps to the fullest of their capabilities, knowing that, hey, I can stand toe-to-toe on the LNs. Might not be the prettiest score in comparison to some of the other players in this tournament, but hey, so long as my score is higher than my opponent's, that's all that matters as they go for Rice 4 to start things off. So, Case, having seen some of the maps in this pool already, what do you think about Esteban going for Rice 4 to start things off here?
I think a Rice War is a really good thing. Is being very focused on his strengths rather than his weaknesses. Yeah, Ellen. But yeah,
Absolutely, especially with this being a very core jack centric pick, not the densest in the world. Does have a couple of odd bursts here and there. If they can just kind of hunker down and kind of lock into this low BPM entry point, could bode very well for them, especially if Blue Potion finds another drop on a map like this. A little bit longer, extending it by about a minute, so needing to concentrate that a little bit further. Maybe the road to recovery won't be as hard, but we'll have to see if Blue Potion can step it up a notch here to get that breakpoint back.
as we are going into this match, very even in accuracy, very close.
For sure, just this opening salvo trying to make their way up to that 400 combo cap for the first time, and basically in lockstep with each other. To be expected, this is a very comfortable BPM for a lot of the players in this range, and the fact that it's just straight 1-2 snapping with a couple of bursts here and there. The 1-4 is kind of a bit of a jump scare, and the LN's not the hardest in the world to navigate. It's just trying to keep the flow of the chart going and then getting back into the step. As we make our way into the second third of the chart, again, kind of tightening ranks here. Now Blue Potion ahead by about 0.1% going into this next segment. About 1,000 points to work with as they try and hold Estebean off, but a 200, a very loud 200, going to drop them down below Estebean's accuracy, and now you guys see a bit of a tug of war as they start to trade these 300 counts with each other.
Yeah, this map has to be very good with ag, or else one side would be very ahead than the other, and one drop will completely demolish you.
Yeah, for sure. We're quickly approaching that range where misses are just not allowed. It's gonna balloon things completely out of control in favor of the person that still manages to hold on to the FC. But for right now, it is still a bit of a war of attrition. They're trading back and forth, and Estebean finds the slider break on the transition into this next 1-2 section. A number of 200s as well, going to damage the accuracy just a little bit more. And this is the opening of Blue Potion needed to try and get this break point back. Now 9,000 points to the good going into the last quarter here.
This is exactly what Blue Potion needed to take this points from Estebean.
Absolutely, and with an eighth of the chart still left to go here, 0.1% ahead with that slider break in the back pocket as well. It is all smooth sailing for Blue Potion as the last couple of notes rain down, nothing to trip the players up anymore. And gotta say, this is definitely running counter to what I was thinking this match was going to go like, where I was thinking like, okay, they're going to probably contest or make it very close on their points. But never in my wildest dreams that I think we'd see 2 breakpoints to start this match off on probably the skill sets that the players didn't think they'd be winning points on. And now it's Blue Potion's turn to be surprised by the result here.
Yeah, very surprised with the pace and how it happened, but
Yeah, I'm
now
pretty
it
sure.
is now it is Blue Potion's pick. Going for LN3.
Illegal.
Wait, but it is banned. LN3 is banned, so he will
So-
not be able to pick it.
All right, both players have been officially bonked on the head by me. It has Estebean with the Hard Rock, Blue Potion trying to pick a banned map. So we're everything's even here. We're perfectly balanced as all things should be. And Blue Potion gonna need to find another map. Probably gonna go for LN1 since LN3 isn't available and they already played LN2. But no, it's gonna be Hybrid 2 instead. So very much our, dare I say, bog standard ranked-esque type chart. Very much on the same vein as like Rice 4 when it comes to like the 1-2 repetitiveness, but it has the LN anchors as well to kind of throw a wrench in the works. You're having to coordinate the other 3 columns around the LNs, and there's, I think, 2 SV jump scares in this chart. And it'll be interesting to see if either of them beef it on them.
As this map is very old, I would say.
Yeah, it's a product of its time when people weren't afraid to put just random SVs in charts, and Blue Potion going to be the first one to find a slip up here very early on. Another short map in the grand scheme of things. So once again, on the road to recovery very early, behind in accuracy, and now with the miss in the back pocket, Estebean looking really good to pick up yet another potential break point. These players are just handshaking these picks at this point. It's like, I'll pick the maps that you win, and you'll pick the maps I win, and we'll just duke it out in the tiebreaker.
That's tough. This map is going really good for Estebean. Really holding it up well, especially when the first miss that happened on Blue Potion. As long as he keeps up with this accuracy, I think he'll be able to pick it. But
yeah, especially because of the fact that they have that miss in the back pocket. They can afford to maybe trip up a couple of tenths of a percent now, and a very messy transition off that second SV jump scare.
Whoa.
Able to hang on to the combo, but Blue Potion also having similar difficulty. I saw a couple of 200s rain down on that core transition, but right now evening out once again. Estebean pulling out ahead in terms of the accuracy, going to get balanced out by Blue Potion, but still that miss is playing a massive role in this lead that Estebean has so far. 7,000 points starting to get ebbed at. It's just chipped away into by Blue Potion, but with an 8th of the chart left to go, and Estebean finding the drop here at the end. 2,000 points. Can they hang on? It's starting to slide back on over to Blue Potion. Is there enough time for Blue Potion to take this back? It's 2,000 points in their favor. They're above that 400 combo cap, and at the 11th hour, Blue Potion sneaks a point that they were so desperate to give back over to Estebean, and manages to make it 2-1.
yeah, just because Blue Potion missed in the early, it didn't really hurt as much as Estebean's miss, because the combo from Blue Potion can be, more accumulated in such terms.
Yeah, absolutely. The timing of the miss is crucial in this performance. The fact that Blue Potion found theirs very early on, before that 400 combo cap, before any extra point calculations got to be put in there, and Estebean just not able to see it through to the end. Unfortunate there, but I mean, to be fair, it was Blue Potion's pick. They probably wouldn't have willingly gone into something like Hybrid 2. It probably would have just been a bonus if they had managed to sneak that one out. But as it stands, Estebean up to pick. They still got 3 more Rice maps to go into. It's just a matter of preference. Good time for the Protect maybe, but they have 2 really good options in Ukigumo and Neanderwall up in the top. And it is going to be Rice 2, so Neanderwall going to be the pick here for Estebean to try and maintain parity here. They kind of handshook the first 2 picks, and now we're in a glorified best of 5 at this point. And Estebean looking to try and make it a best of 3, essentially.
Rice 2 being one of the harder maps inside of the Rice pool. will be very beneficial, or one of the better picks for SB.
Yeah, with the way they've been performing on these Rice charts so far, at least on Rice 4, the fact they were able to maintain the consistency, this one is a bit of a wonky jump stream pick. It's not your straightforward 1/4, maintain the BPM the entire time. This has undulating snap variations where you're having to speed up and slow it down, similar to the Rice 1 qualifier from last weekend. So if they were able to maintain a good consistency on that pick, this one shouldn't be any different in terms of what you're being asked to play. So as we get started, Estebean finding a couple of 200s on the early LNs. There aren't very many, but the ones that are there can definitely trip you up, and gonna need to get back on the bike, make up that 3/10 difference with Blue Potion pulling out ahead ever so slightly, but finding a very early drop here. As we make our way into the second quarter here, sorry, I cut you off there.
Oh, don't worry about it.
And everything evens out. Estebean the beneficiary of that early drop from Blue Potion, 9,000 points to the good. The accuracy now equalized between the two players. And I think we're going to see a bit more of that situation from the last chart where Blue Potion found that miss before that 400 combo cap, and it's going to be really up to Estebean to just keep calm, make sure that they can get a clean FC, or if they are going to find a drop, heaven forbid, knock on wood, it's at the very end of the map, like last note type of drop there, because we saw what happened on the last one. Don't want a repeat of that, because that could be incredibly demoralizing as we make our way into the last quarter of the chart now. They're still ahead by about a good 10,000 points and still able to keep themselves ahead in terms of overall accuracy. It's going to come down to a miss here, or just a rush of 200s here at the end from Estebean to give Blue Potion a chance to get back into this map.
Whoa.
And there it is! There it is! The miss at the very end, but this is going to be a bit of a different story. It is. Estebean manages to hang on this time around. Not going to be a repeat of Hybrid 2 there. I am pretty sure the blood rushed to their feet when that drop happened.
Your accuracy being very similar, almost the same amount of 200s and perfects.
Oh, you're telling me that these guys were 2 judgments away from being dead even?
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Oh my goodness. All right. You love to see it. At the end of the day, you love to see it. These two are so evenly matched. Like, seed notwithstanding, if you put your fingers over the seeding and you saw this right now, you'd think like, okay, cool, this is probably like a 32 versus 33 matchup. Nah, it's 19 versus 46. And Estebean looking really strong out of the gates here. Really putting Blue Potion to the test here as they opt to go for the Protect, and arguably, probably Estebean's least preferred map in this pool. This is very much the Achilles heel of a lot of players, this style of LN.
Yeah, one of the Achilles heel of mainly Rice players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just long, slow anchors, feeling like you're playing the start of Inverse, and it just goes on and on. And the release elements of some of those hanging LNs just make you feel like you are being tortured for about 3 minutes. And I don't know about you, Case. I'm one of those people that enjoys playing LNs. I'm glad this finally gets picked in a match that I'm commentating, because I want to see the players suffer.
A true environment of Rice players and LN players, I would say.
Yeah. So getting this one underway, there are so few notes here. Like, I'm for once finally going to be quiet about accuracy, because every judgment is going to shift that percentage that it's going to be impossible to tell who's winning. It'll pick up towards the end. Things get a little bit more hectic in terms of what you're having to play, but this early going, you're basically playing like 3 notes every like 2 or 3 seconds. And Estebean finding the early slider break, there is not a lot of combo to work with. It's early enough that they might be able to squeak back over that 400 combo cap at the end, but it's going to be rough sledding from here. Blue Potion immediately pushes it out to a 10,000 point lead by virtue of that incredible accuracy. 99.7 on their side, looking incredibly comfortable so far here as Estebean finds a couple of late releases, just trying to hang on as best as they can down into that 98% range as they try to avoid another miss here.
As this is very apparent of how Rice players are like doing with the map. Another miss has happened.
Yeah, Rice players, when you force them to look at noodles.
Yeah. Especially when you're holding, like, coordinating them. Very hard.
Very hard indeed. And with a third of the map still left to go, Estebean tried their best to stave off any further damage, but not going to be able to keep themselves above water here. Now 50,000 points in favor of Blue Potion with a quarter of the map left to go. Now they have a substantial cushion now over that 400 combo cap, getting full credit for their judgments with the map almost over. This is basically cruise control for Blue Potion. This is the strongest they've looked so far this match. There have been some hard-in-mouth moments, but they've managed to recover from them, and they're going to be able to push it to a match point situation here as this map begins to reach its, dare I say like mini climax. It does begin to get a little bit harder to coordinate some of these LNs as Estebean finds yet another drop for the road, but I mean the damage has already been done. Like, this is the most convincing pick we've seen so far in this match that has been so back and forth.
Yeah, as the map closes, it begins with SCB's next pick, most likely being Rice 5, assuming he picks his Protect.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no better time to go for the Protect here. And I mean, what a better time. I mean, it's your last pick. It is 3-2, staring at potentially losing the match, but I mean, still having that ace up the sleeve, unless they felt like doing a little bit of a pivot, a last second adjustment, and going for something like Rice 1. I mean, both options are pretty nice given Estebean's performance so far in comparison to Blue Potion. So I wouldn't be upset with either of them. I think the only pick that's not allowed in this instance is something like Hybrid 1. So for right now, just waiting. Truly a nightmare for players that didn't practice LN very much. Yeah, it's very much counter to what a lot of players enjoy playing. So, yeah, it's definitely a bit of a polarizing pick. But I mean, hey, that's why it's there. You got LN2 for the density. You got LN3 for everything else. But with that out of the way, Rice 5, the Protect coming out for Estebean. Last gasp to force that tiebreaker to come out. They had an opportunity to flip the script a little bit, but wasn't able to capitalize on that Hybrid 2 opening, finding the drop at the very end. Can they make amends on Rice 5 here?
This having a very long name, also being one of the longest maps other than the TV map.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the difficulty name. I've done everything in my power to try and learn how to pronounce. Let me take a shot at this. Flux and Naux and Nihilipilification.
I think that's really good.
Yeah, I think that's about as close as any of us are going to get without, like, completely butchering it. And how fitting it's Marmalade Butcher as the artist.
Someone needs to try out the difficulty name, too.
We'll bring up, I think the Brawl League 2025 is going on right now. We'll call up one of them. I think there's some Germans in there. Maybe they can help us learn how to pronounce it. But with that being said, we're underway. Rice 5, last normal pick in this pool. We either go to tiebreaker or Blue Potion wins this outright. And Estebean's going to do everything in their power to go to tiebreaker. This has been a standout performance from them, really punching above their weight in comparison to where they seeded in this tournament. And as it stands, once again, with these other rice picks, just in lockstep with each other, trading the 200s as they come and go, still making our way through this first quarter. And if it's anything like how this opening has gone, we're in for quite a bit of a ride here.
Especially when both players are very close in accuracy. One miss up and that's probably be all over. Especially how close they are playing.
Yeah, there's very little separating them. You can put a postage stamp between the two players right now in terms of the score differential. The fact that it's just teetering back and forth, neither player giving an inch. Blue Potion had a tiny bit of an advantage, starting to slip away now. It's a 0.1% separating the two players. It is the fine margins, the 200 counts. Got to be able to keep them as low as humanly possible. Estebean picking up again another one, not answered back by Blue Potion. Both players still holding on to the FC going into the second third of this chart. We start to see the LNs, and the LNs are going to be the undoing for Estebean going into the back half of the chart. There's still plenty of room for recovery. They're not out of this by any stretch of the imagination, and we have seen trades between these two players before, but the road to recovery is a long and arduous one. Do they have it within themselves to hunker down and lock in for the last minute 15 seconds of this chart to try and get themselves to that tiebreaker? It is 10,000 points the difference that they need to make up, and Blue Potion looking very strong going into this last third. There are a couple of 200s. Estebean back up over that 400 combo cap. You saw that column 1 little flicker there on the key indicators at the very bottom. There's a bit of nerves, I imagine, starting to creep in there, especially with the miss. They know they're behind now. They know that the margin for error is so tiny. And, I mean, Blue Potion is not relenting. They have been stuck at that 99.6 mark. It feels like for the entirety of this chart, a quarter of the map left to go. About 45 seconds left for Estebean to try and pull out the tiebreaker out of the bag here. They're slowly building up, but their time is running out. They're not making as much of an inroad as they need to. The lead is growing, in fact, in favor of Blue Potion going into this last section. It is still very hard. This outro has intense jump stream 2 read through that could trip up anybody trying to relax at the end here. Whoa, there's the miss! Blue Potion finds the trade, but Estebean trades it back. That was the opening, and they miss it. 310 still separating the two players. The lead stays intact for Blue Potion going into the last section here. It is not over by any stretch of the imagination, but you imagine the window of opportunity was opened just a sliver, and it slammed right shut here at the very end. Last couple of streams coming through, and Blue Potion going to be able to close it out, avoid the shock tiebreaker, and I mean, worst case scenario, the shock upset in the opening round to knock Estebean down into the losers bracket. What a match!
Very good performance from both players throughout this whole match, especially when these teams are very far apart, but these players made it seem very close.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody had this match going as far as it did. Kudos to Estebean for putting up a fight in this chart. Some unfortunate drops there. They had the ratio, but the 200 counts probably would have been their undoing at the end of the day. But, I mean, hats off. Blue Potion manages to make it through the round of 32 winner side, but oh boy, was it a fight.
Yeah.
But we all get to collectively catch our breath. That was a very, very intense match. Blue Potion going to be going up against the winner of a match that'll be happening later this weekend, so yet to be determined as I mentioned before, begin the Sunday block of matches. And what a better way to kick things off here. So with that being said, we can pull up the schedule, see what'll be happening next. I think we're going to take a pretty substantial break here. We have an all Vietnamese matchup at 7:45 UTC. So with that being said, in case you have anything else left to add as we both try and catch our breath here.
Well, extremely good plays from both players. Like, that was very expected on both sides.
Yeah, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and shut it down for now. But until then, we'll catch you guys later.